I need a good intro so I can just like swoop in here like I know what I'm doing. Hi, I am here today and I'm going to be talking about some of my October reading plans. I'm setting myself a little challenge to do in October because I feel like I've been reading a lot this year, but also my reading has sort of gone off track from like what I was planning in general. Not that that's a huge problem, but I just sort of think that, you know, a bit of a challenge to stretch myself and push myself out of the lane that I've been living in for the last couple months would be good. So I'm calling it Overdue October. You are also welcome to join. This is not me running a thing. I've been here for like 3 seconds. I would not dare. It's just gonna be a fun thing that I'm doing, and like, if you also want to do it, that would be awesome. You know, whatever. Pretty much when it comes to challenges and like readathons and stuff like that, I'm very pro cheating and DNFing and getting a head start and like double dipping titles. I'm in general not taking this very seriously, I guess. It's just some reading prompts for having a more well-rounded reading month in October. So without further ado, I'll just, you know, go through them, get to it. Yeah. So Overdue October, I am basically going to try to clear out some of my older books that I've had around for a long time or have been always like meaning to read, but it just never seems like the right moment because I'm very susceptible to that, where I'm like, oh, I have all of these pretty books that I have all these pretty books that I'm just gonna leave on the shelf and like look at fondly, but then not actually pick up because I'm somewhat intimidated. So anyways, I just have a couple prompts to sort of target my October reading towards older books on my TBR and things that I've been meaning to get around to. The first prompt is to read the oldest book on your TBR, which, you know, classic. And I think that could be viewed as either your physical TBR or your Goodreads TBR, or like literally the oldest book, like the one like written in the oldest times, in oldie timies. No. So I have a couple of options for this. For the actually oldest book on my TBR, I have the Odyssey, which I bought this new translation when it came out because it got a lot of hype, and I think it's going to be really good. Like, it's the first translation of the Odyssey done by a woman, and I've heard like the poetics are still very poetical, but this is obviously an old book, so I would like to read this one. The other thing that I could do, I'm leaving my options open here because I am a bit of a mood reader, as I've said in every video. But the other option is to take some of the oldest books on my Goodreads TBR, and I looked and I put down like 10 books the first day I got Goodreads, so I have some options. I think the one that I would go for from that time would be In Cold Blood. That was like the first book that I put on my TBR on Goodreads. I think that would be really fun also because as I've also mentioned in previous videos, I really like reading nonfiction, but I've been in not a reading slump overall, but a bit of a nonfiction reading slump, so I think In Cold Blood would be a good one. In Cold Blood is a sort of true crime book written by Truman Capote. It's sort of like a classic in the genre, I guess, but it's a little bit iffy how much of it is true, / maybe Truman Capote got too emotionally involved with the murderers, so that's sort of fun. So I think that could be a fun one to read, basically. The next prompt is read a recommendation you've been putting off. So I have a lot of bookish friends in real life too, and one book that I've stolen from my old roommate and college friend, Georgina, hey, is Evicted. This is her copy. I've had her copies since I think 2017. I'm sorry, I am that person. But yeah, I've always wanted to read this. It just always just seems a little bit too depressing for where I want to be in my reading life. Like, it's about eviction in the US and how messed up that whole system is. So yeah, I think that this is a good one to read and then actually get back to my friend. So that's my plan. I'm probably going to start this in the end of September because, again, I cheat. Cool. The third prompt is a book that you've put down but always have meant to get back to, which happens a lot to me. I am sometimes in the middle of like 10 books at a time because I just get distracted or I'll like lose my forward momentum on a book. So I do have a couple options here. The big one that I want to get to is this, A Bright Shining Lie. This is like history of the Vietnam War, written by a war correspondent who was there at the time, and is sort of told through the life of this one. I don't know the ranks in the army, and it's been a long time since I read the first like 500 pages of this. I don't know if you can see that. It's told through the life of John Van, who I think was like a commander in the army. Again, it's been a while since I put this down. I read I read the first 500 pages at the beginning of this year in like February. My dad got me this guy for Christmas, so thanks, Dad. So yeah, given the fact that I've read 500 pages of this 700-page book, I would very much like to finish it up so I can be like, I did it. Yeah. It's also a very good book. Like, I think I can say that 500 pages in. It's like a very thorough history of the Vietnam War, but it's still very interesting because it's told on the personal level and through the experience of one man. So yeah, I just like, there's a lot of stuff in here that I never learned in high school history. So I think it's given me a better understanding of like what the heck was going on in the 60s and 70s in like American politics. So this is my plan. But as I said, I do have alternatives because I do stop and start books a lot and I have many that I could finish up. I would say that the phoning it in version here would be finishing Tell Me How It Ends. This is like an extended essay about the human rights crisis at the border. Basically, this author did a lot of work with asylum seekers and is bilingual, so helped them like go through the system as a translator. Yeah, it's one of these ones that, again, I picked up but like was not like able to engage with such a heavy topic at the time when I picked it up, so I put it down. But now would be a great time to pick it up again, because even with everything else happening, shit's still going down. Anyways, I'm only really committing myself to reading like 70 pages here, so that would be quite easy, I think. I mean, despite the heavy topic. So that's prompt 3, and then prompt number 4 for myself and for you, if you want to do this, is to read a prize winner that you've been meaning to get to. So obviously these aren't very like creative prompts, but they just like cover a lot of bases for like, books that you've been meaning to read in general, which is what I need. I'm making the challenge. I don't want to do any like, oh, it has to be an orange cover or whatever. That's fine for some, but like this is my like getting back on track. It's fall, we only have 3 months left challenge. Anyways, so for a prize winner that I've really been meaning to read, I have been meaning to read Less, which is a little bit more uplifting than the other books on this sort of TBR. Basically, this is about a aging failed novelist, I think, who this is not at all researched, I'm sorry, but he gets a wedding invitation from his ex and he goes off and tries to like make a very Instagrammable life so that he can make his ex feel bad. I don't know. I'm just interested in it because comedies very rarely win the Pulitzer, and I feel like when they do, I want to go see what the hype is about. But again, I am all for double dipping, so if I do finish A Bright Shining Lie, then that's also a Pulitzer winner, so I can just use that one. So all that being said, I mean, I feel like this is a huge stack. I think this video is actually going to be 5 minutes long because I just rambled a lot and it'll all have to come out. But yeah, I'm really excited to read a lot of these titles, and it'll be good to like sort of get back to doing my physical TBR a little bit, because I haven't been very good at that recently either. So yeah, let me know what you think about any of these books. I'd love to hear your opinions. Let me know if there are any books that you've been like meaning to get to that you want to do before the end of the year. And yeah, I'll be back with another video next week. Bye.